Hello, everybody, and welcome. 50 random facts that will blow your mind. Let's go. Number 1. Not just plants can photosynthesize. Algae can too, and some other organisms, including sea slugs and pea aphids. Number 2. Cryptic pregnancies aren't that uncommon, with 1 in 500 not recognized until at least halfway through, and 1 in 2,500 not known until labor starts. Number 3. A bacteria known as Staphylococcus aureus can release a chemical that activates a protein in our nerves. This sends a signal from our skin to our brains, which our brain perceives as an itch. Number 4. Starfish don't have bodies. Along with other echinoderms, such as sea urchins and sand dollars, their entire bodies are technically classed as heads. Number 5. You actually travel 2.5 million kilometers a day around the sun without realizing. Number 6. Fish form orderly queues in emergencies. When evacuating through narrow spaces in certain difficult situations, schools of neon tetrafish queue so that they don't collide or clog up the line. Number 7. Scientists say tears tell you the exact reason for someone crying. If the first drop comes from the right eye, it's tears of joy. Otherwise, it's because of pain. Number 8. There are actually more bacterial cells in your body than human cells. The average human is around 56% bacteria in total. This was discovered in a 2016 study and is far less than the earlier estimates of 90%. Number 9. Most ginger cats are actually male. There are roughly 3 ginger male cats to 1 ginger female. This is because the ginger gene is found on the X chromosome. Number 10. Your nails grow faster in the hot summer. This is likely due to increased blood supply to the fingertips. Number 11. A rainbow on Venus is known as a glory, appearing as a series of colored concentric rings. These are caused by the interference of light waves within droplets, rather than the reflection, refraction, and dispersion of light that makes a rainbow. Number 12. Protons actually look like peanuts, rugby balls, bagels, and spheres. Protons come in a variety of different shapes and sizes, with their appearance changing based on the speed of smaller particles within them. Quarks. Number 13. In the UK, back in 2019, renewable energy started to generate more electricity than fossil fuels for the first time ever. Number 14. The longest reigning monarch ever was Louis XIV of France. He ruled for 72 years and 110 days. Number 15. Mirrors facing each other don't produce infinite reflections. Each reflection will be continually darker than the last, and eventually fade into invisibility. Mirrors absorb a fraction of the energy of the light striking them. Number 16. Psychologists argue that aspects of psychopathy can be cured by cognitive behavioral therapy, which is then said to reduce violent offenses by those with the condition. Number 17. When your hair stands on end, tiny muscles contract at each hair's base, which distorts the skin to create what we know them to be, goosebumps. Number 18. Marie Curie was the first person ever to win 2 separate Nobel Prizes, one for physics in 1903, the other for chemistry in 1911 for her work on radioactivity. Number 19. Football players are seen to spit so much more than those who do not play. This is because exercise increases the amount of protein in saliva. Number 20. King Henry VIII of England had servants called grooms of stool who had to wipe him clean after he visited the toilet. Number 21. Autistic traits appear in animals. These include a tendency toward repetitive behavior and atypical social habits. Number 22. The biggest butterfly in the world has a 31 centimeter wingspan. It belongs to the Queen Alexandra's birdwing butterfly, which you can find in the forests of the Oro province, in the east of Papua New Guinea. Number 23. Research indicates that if you sleep badly and wake up multiple times throughout the night, you will be more likely to recall the content of any dreams you had. Number 24. Iceland, the Faroe Islands, and the Isle of Man all have claims to having the oldest parliament in history, all of which were founded in the 9th and 10th centuries. Number 25. Russia is the most forested country in the world, with roughly 815 million hectares. Number 26. The youngest person to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize is Malala Yousafzai, aged just 17 in 2014, for her work as a child rights activist and champion of girls' right to education. Number 27. Sunsets really only exist because Earth's atmosphere acts as a prism for light. In scientific terms, this is called scattering. To explain this better, molecules and particles in the atmosphere, which are more numerous at sunset, scatter short wavelength violet and blue light away from your eyes, so we can see the other colors on the spectrum, like yellow and orange. Number 28. One theory suggests we've evolved to sweat whilst anxious to alert the brains of other people around us, so they are primed for whatever it is that's making us anxious. Number 29. The most remote place on Earth is the Tristan da Cunha Islands in the southern Atlantic Ocean. They're 2,434 kilometers from St. Helena, the nearest inhabited place. Number 30. The longest anyone has held their breath underwater is over 24.5 minutes. The world record for breath holding underwater was achieved by Croatian Budimir Sobat on the 27th of March 2021, who held his breath for a total of 24 minutes and 37 seconds. On average, a human can hold their breath between 30 and 90 seconds. Number 31. Dogs tilt their heads when you speak to them to better pinpoint familiar words to them. Number 32. When you do a Google query, 1,000 computers are then used to find the answer in under 0.2 seconds. Number 33. We do actually produce enough food to feed everyone on the planet. The main problem we face is distributing it to everyone. Number 34. If the Earth were to double in size, trees would immediately topple over. This is because surface gravity would have also doubled. It would also mean dog size and larger animals would not be able to run without breaking a leg. Number 35. Flamingos aren't born pink. They actually come into the world with gray-white feathers and only develop a pinkish hue after starting a diet of brine shrimp and blue-green algae. Number 36. You can actually smell ants. Many species of ants release strong-smelling chemicals when they're angry, threatened, or being squished. Number 37. People who eat whatever they want and remain slim have a slow metabolism, not fast. A skinny person tends to have less muscle mass than others, meaning their basal metabolic rate is actually lower than those of a high muscle mass. Number 38. Earth is actually around 4.54 billion years old. Using radiometric dating, Scientists have discovered that the Earth is 4.54 billion years old, give or take 50 million years. This makes our planet half the age of the Milky Way galaxy, 13 billion years old, and around a third of the age of the universe, 15 billion years old. Number 39. The average dinosaur lifespan was actually quite small. The Tyrannosaurus rex, for example, reached full size between 22 years old and lived up until 33 years old. Number 40. When Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke had landed on the moon in 1972, he decided to leave behind a photo of him, his 2 sons, and his wife. The photo remains on the moon to this day. Number 41. Glass sponges can live for 15,000 years. This makes them one of the longest living organisms on Earth. The immortal jellyfish, however, could theoretically live forever, but this is hard to prove. Number 42. Australia has the highest skin cancer rate in the world. An average Australian is 4 times likely to get skin cancer than any other type of cancer, and 2/3 of Australians will probably get it by the age of 70. Number 43. The introduction of helmets to the military actually caused a surge in head injuries. This is because those injuries used to be deaths, but now more people were surviving them, albeit injured instead. Number 44. You inhale 50 potentially harmful bacteria every time you breathe. Luckily, your immune system fights these off promptly. Number 45. You can see stars as they were 4,000 years ago with the naked eye. That means, at most, you're seeing stars as they were 4,000 years ago, around when the pyramids were being built in Egypt. Number 46. Plants came before seeds. According to the fossil record, early plants resembled moss and reproduced with single-celled spores. Multicellular seeds didn't evolve for another 150 million years. Number 47. Bats aren't actually blind. Despite the famous idiom, bats can indeed see, but they still use their even more famous echolocation to find prey. Number 48. On average, humans would live for about 27,000 days. Number 49. Pine trees can tell if it's about to rain. If it's closed, that's because the air is humid, which can indicate rain is on its way. Number 50. Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. were born in the same year.